On the news highlights for this week's episode of Ndlea Today. Marwa, Governor Abiodun, 6 other eminent Nigerians bagged Forbes Best of Africa Awards. 2023 will be tougher for drug barons and cartels, Marwa. Chairman Chief Executive of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa retired. Governor Dapo Abiodun and 6 other eminent Nigerians have been conferred with Forbes Best of Africa Awards. The 8 distinguished personalities that include His Royal Highness Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, the Emir of Kano, Inuwa Kashifu Abdullahi, DG Nita, were conferred with the award through a virtual symposium with the theme Leadership and Investment. The hosts, Darcy Mehta, welcomed the guests to the Forbes Best of Africa Awards 2022, while the President, Forbes Best of Africa, Mark Furlong, introduced the recipients and read their citations during the presentation of the awards. The NDLEA boss, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, received the Health Safety Award of Excellence, while the other recipients bagged different categories of the Forbes Best of Africa Awards. Chairman Chief Executive of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, has warned that unrepentant drug barons and cartels will face tougher times in 2023 if they fail to back out of the illicit drug business. Marwa gave the warning on Wednesday, 18th January, at a press briefing at the NDLEA National Headquarters, Abuja, to update the public on efforts by the agency to rid the country of illicit substance abuse and drug trafficking on the 2nd anniversary of his leadership of the anti-narcotics body.
In these 2 years, we arrested 26,458 drug traffickers, among them 34 barons. So we didn't just go after the corner street dealers and the mules, but indeed the kingpins and the barons themselves. 24 months, we successfully prosecuted 3,733 offenders who were convicted and handed various jail terms in court. Of the conviction figure, 2,346 were recorded in 2022 alone, which is the highest in the history of the agency and almost double the highest ever recorded in the 33 years of NDLEA. This is not happen chance, but a result of professionalism, determination, commitment, and hard work of our officers, men and women.
Describing 2022 as an epoch year, Marwa said,
"We took a giant leap in drug demand reduction with the establishment and commissioning of the NDLEA Drug Abuse Call Center, which broadened access to treatment and rehabilitation. It was a year we had unprecedented support too, notably from the Governor's Wife's Forum, which made commitments to broaden and deepen social efforts to ameliorate consequences of drug use. We also had support from our international partners, chiefly the UNODC, our counterparts, governments of the United States, France, Germany, United Kingdom, India, and South Korea. The support came in the form of donations of equipment, training, intelligence, and other logistics.
While assuring Nigerians that the agency is firmly on the task of making Nigeria safe from illicit substances, the NDLEA boss said such may sound like impossibility, but it is achievable.
We will sustain our offensive action and shut down the pipeline from other countries into Nigeria. We shall broaden access to treatment and rehabilitation, and we will continue to carry Nigerians along on this journey to curb the trafficking and abuse of substances in Nigeria. The anticipated amendment of the Ndlea Act will be this year, and that will strengthen the arm of our agency in its drug law enforcement. We look forward to arresting more barons, and the 34 in the net presently will know their fates in court in the weeks and months ahead.
He expressed gratitude to President Muhammadu Buhari and other stakeholders for their support in the total transformation of the agency.
We owe a lot of people and institutions gratitude for the turnaround of the Ndlea. First of all, President Muhammadu Buhari, for his tireless support, which has been the driving force for change in the country's drug use narrative. All that has been achieved so far and ongoing efforts are part of the President Buhari administration's agenda for a better Nigeria. We similarly appreciate the efforts of the National Assembly through the two committees in the Senate and House of Reps that have oversight of the agency. We also deeply appreciate the Honorable Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Mr. Abubakar Malami, CON, SAN, the UNODC, our foreign partners, sister agencies, who have all in one way or the other been catalysts to the Ndlea productivity in the past 2 years.
The chairperson, Governing Board of Center for Fiscal Transparency and Integrity, Ambassador Ndlea Today, has pledged the commitment of her organization to partner with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in our efforts to rid the country of the drug menace. The chairperson stated this when she led a delegation of officials of SEFTU on a courtesy visit to the chairman and chief executive officer of Ndlea, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, CON OFR DSS, at the agency's national headquarters, Abuja. This happened on Friday, the 13th of January 2023. She expressed her organization's determination to tackle incidences of organized criminal activities, of which drug trafficking is one. She further stated that as a civil society organization, they can contribute their quota in areas of advocacy against drug abuse and illicit drug trafficking, as well as build credible data on drug use and trafficking in order to enhance national development. Ambassador Ndlea Today explained that the purpose of the visit was to seek collaboration with the agency to promote transparency, accountability, and integrity. In his response, the Chairman Chief Executive Officer of Ndlea, General Buba Marwa, represented by the agency's secretary, Barrister Shedrak Haruna, appreciated the team for coming and assured them that transparency has always been the watchword of the agency. He pledged the Chairman Chief Executive Officer's readiness to collaborate with them, especially on issues related to organized criminal syndicates. He said the huge successes recorded under General Buba Marwa wouldn't have been possible if principles of integrity and transparency was not applied in the agency's operations and prosecution processes. He assured them of the agency's continued commitment to transparency and good governance and called on them to continue to positively influence the public for a better Nigeria.
Yes, it's true. Drugs are a vice in our society, costing lives and huge economic losses. But the story is not the same because the game has changed. It's a red card for drugs in Nigeria. There is a new sheriff in town. Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa is moving hard and fast with full speed and precision to rid the country of the drug scourge. Ndlea Today is a program that gives you a front seat in understanding the highs and lows, the laws of drug enforcement in the country. Join us
every Monday from 5:30 to 6 p.m. on the network service of the NTA, Africa's largest TV network.
Ndlea Today. Don't miss it.
The Directorate of Internal Affairs and Provost Marshal is saddled with the core responsibility of ensuring discipline among the operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Ndlea. For every narcotic officer, the need to ensure proper adherence to the Ndlea core values of integrity and zero tolerance for corruption cannot be overemphasized. Thus, the centrality of the Directorate of Internal Affairs and Provost Marshal to the day-to-day running of the agency. For ACGN Hamisu Lawal, the current Provost Marshal and Director Internal Affairs, the role of the Directorate could be likened to that of the police within the agency.
What the Provost Marshal stands is to ensure a disciplined workforce. So in a one short words, is the policeman of the agency, the Provost Marshal, while the additional responsibility of the Directorate of Internal Affairs is to conduct investigation and appraise our compliance to standard towards what? Achieving that there is a synergy and there is a system integrity.
The introduction of the zonal structures by the current leadership of the anti-drug body has enhanced the ability to enforce discipline among the operatives. The Ndlea condition of service is binding on every Ndlea officer. Thus, any infraction by any officer will be promptly dealt with in order to ensure the success of the drug war.
Where you have somebody that appeared not to be in conformity with the rules, with our own SOP, with our condition of service, then he has nowhere to escape. He will certainly have to be brought to book and dealt with according to the enabling laws of the agency that is guiding whosoever subscribe to working with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency.
The various reward mechanisms introduced by Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa since his assumption of office, according to the Provost Marshal, has further assisted the Internal Affairs Directorate in deploying the carrot and stick approach for service delivery.
A good leader will always deploy the two mechanisms at his disposal. That is the stick and the carrot. And that has been ongoing. And perhaps is the end of our own work here. Trying to maintain what? Discipline within the system, ensure system integrity, that you are seeing some larger part of the result in the output.
Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) busted another tramadol cartel in Lagos with a seizure of millions of opioid pills and bottles worth over 5 billion naira from their warehouse in Amuwo-Dofin area of the state. The drug cartels took the first hit on Tuesday, 10th January, from determined officers of the agency who intercepted an imported consignment of loud, a strong variant of cannabis weighing 4,878.72 kilograms along Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, Lagos, after a near-fatal encounter with some suspected fake security agents escorting the drugs. The NDLEA operatives succeeded in recovering the consignment with a white truck marked BDG 548XX conveying it. This was followed by the seizure of 121,630 pills of pharmaceutical opioids and some quantity of molly from a dealer, Charles Okeke, on Wednesday, 11th January at Idumota area, Lagos Island. Another effort by the agency to bring the drug cartels to their knees paid off on Friday, 13th January, when operatives tracked and located a major warehouse for pharmaceutical opioids at 17 Sir Ben Onyeka Street off Agor Palace Way in Amuwo-Dofin area of the state. While the owner of the store, Aloysius Okeke, was arrested, illicit drugs recovered from the warehouse include 3,264,630 pills of tramadol, 3,490 bottles of codeine, and 915,000 capsules of pregabalin 300 milligrams. This came on the heels of the arrest of a suspect, Olanriwaju Lawal Wahab, who distributes for the cartel same day. In neighboring Ogun State, operatives in the early hours of Saturday, 14 January, also discovered and dismantled a clandestine laboratory on the outskirts of Shagamu, from where Scoochies, a highly potent psychoactive substance made with a blend of cannabis sativa, tramadol, raffinol, Exol 5, and industrial codeine, was being produced in large quantity, packaged and distributed in jerry cans and bottles. All the equipments for the production, including power generators, industrial gas cylinders, drums and kegs, as well as various quantities of illicit drugs such as 214 kilograms cannabis, 1,440 capsules of tramadol, 480 tablets of swinol, 1,440 tablets of refinol, and 114 liters of industrial codeine, among others, were recovered from the building before sealing off the premises. In Abuja, operatives of the FCT command of the agency on Thursday, 12th January, raided the notorious Tora Bora Hills in the federal capital city and recovered 350.7 kilograms of skunk and 794 bottles of codeine hidden under rocks, while a total of 272 kilograms of CNS were recovered from two suspects, Wele Friday and Egbe Nemeka at Ifo Layout, Abapanike, Enugu. In the same vein, a notorious drug dealer who is fiscally challenged, Abiodun Emaria, was on Saturday, 14 January, arrested with 6.2 kilograms of cannabis at his hideout in Ohada Village, Ohumode local government area of Edo State, Nigeria. Roko Special Area Command takes WADA advocacy lecture to General Hospital and Customary Courts, Ikwokia. Ekiti State Command lectures newly deployed NYSC members on their role as WADA advocacy stakeholders. Ogun State Command takes WADA advocacy visits to the Akaribo of Remo Land, Oba Babatunde Adewale Ajayi. Lagos State Command pays WADA advocacy visits to the Oba of Lagos, His Royal Highness Rilwan Akiolu, and his White Cap Chiefs. Borno State Command lectures surrendered low-risk Boko Haram fighters on challenges of drug abuse in health and humanitarian crisis in Maiduguri, Borno State. Benue State Command of the Ndlea lectures youth corps members in Boko on WADA activities. Akwa Ibom State Command of the Ndlea lectures intending pilgrims from Akwa Ibom State on illicit drugs and trafficking and the consequences in Uyo. Ekiti State Command lectures over 600 students of Banjo Akitoye Model College at Ekiti on drug abuse and its consequences.
Do you know that drug abuse comes with its cardiovascular effects? Many drugs alter heart rate and can have direct cardiovascular effects that lead to long-term diseases. For example, smoking tobacco increases heart disease, stroke, heart attack, and vascular disease. Even injected drugs can lead to cardiovascular problems, including collapsed veins and bacterial infections of the heart valves and the heart's blood vessels. Cocaine and amphetamines are associated with many cardiovascular risks.
On the feedback segment today,
Sheikh Abdurrahman from Ofa, Kwara State wrote, "Is it true that drug abusers are usually unprincipled people?" Here is your answer. Many people don't understand why or how other people become addictive to drugs. They may mistakenly think that those who use drugs lack moral principles or willpower and that they could stop their drug use simply by choosing to. In reality, drug addiction is a complex disease, and quitting usually takes more than good intentions or strong will. Drugs change the brain in ways that make quitting hard, even for those who want to. Fortunately, researchers know more than ever before about how drugs affect the brain and have found treatments that can help people recover from drug addiction and lead productive lives.
that's how far we can go this week. Keep a date with us, same time next week. And that brings you another refreshing edition of the program Ndlea Today. Till then, it's bye for now.
rice value chain. This is where I'm talking about.